Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me as always is my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance Michaels, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. You?
I can't complain, man. Just coming off a whirlwind trip from Calgary for the battle for the belts at the the Victoria Pavillion. It was a Stampede, the old Stampede Wrestling grounds. Phenomenal 2-day event. This was put on by Can-Am, RCW, ECCW as well. A few other promotions to mention. Presented by the Wild Rose Sports Association. Really cool event, man. 2 days, and they had a Hall of Fame ceremony on the second night. But yeah, all in all, fantastic over 2 days, just really, really enjoyable. I got into Calgary Friday afternoon, made my way down there for about 4 o'clock. They opened the doors to me, let me in with open arms, and just gave me full access to everything, man. Shout out to Otto Gentile, aka Vinny Fever. Just phenomenal to meet him in person and to kind of hang out with him and kind of talk to him. Obviously, he was really busy, so we didn't get to sit
Yeah.
down as much as I would have liked to. And but you know what? All in all, big shout out to everyone that put on that event. Um, Overall, just fantastic, man.
So let's get down to the meat and potatoes of it. First, talk Friday night. What was the highlights on the Friday night show that stood out to you? Best matches, performances. What do you got for us?
Yeah, no, I'll start with this right away. I got in there, and the first thing Otto said to me is like, "Whoever you want to interview, let me know, and I'll take care of it."
Cool.
And off in the distance, I saw a couple gentlemen walk in that I recognized, but it wasn't sure. And then it all came clear. I was in the presence of the great Cuban assassins. Man, I tell you what, that was one of the most surreal moments I've ever had as a wrestling fan, to be able to first off meet them, because you got to keep in mind the original Cuban assassin Angel. Um, he he's 82 years old now, but I think when I sent you the picture and you said this, and it's right on the nail, my man. Those two dudes are tougher than a
They
$4
still
steak.
look tough, man. They still
Oh,
look tough.
yeah, they look tough. And they were just so gracious and so hospitable. I got to sit down with them. I actually recorded a nice 15 to 20-minute interview with them.
Cool.
And I will get all that up. We got brand new equipment here. So I'm just trying to figure out how everything works. I don't want to mess anything up or fuck anything up in any way. So I
Mhm.
want to take my time producing these and editing them properly so we can get them done together.
Absolutely.
So the first night was great. It was all the kind of semifinal matches, if you want to say, because basically the Rose Sports Association, this was their annual, first annual tournament that they had to determine their champions. So you had all these different Canadian promotions, like I said, Can-Am, RCW, ECCW was there as well, DEW was there as well. So wrestlers were represented from coast to coast in
Cool.
this tournament. Some of these guys had never touched before. Some of these guys haven't met each other in the ring for maybe 5 to 10 years at any given time. So basically Scotty Mack was there as well. He's performing. He was also with their tag team DTA, Don't Trust Anyone. That whole faction was there.
Interesting name. And I said it to Scotty before. Is like the name of the, not to get on this too much. The name of the faction is Don't Trust Anybody. Yeah, you got a part. You got three guys in there. How do you trust them? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I didn't ask Scotty this question, but I asked Jordy, who was a member of that faction, and I said to him as they were at the end of night two, and I went up and finally introduced myself to them. Here's the one thing I got beautiful. It was just such a wonderful experience that they gave me backstage access, so I was able to kind of go backstage and then talk to these guys as well and whatnot. But the one thing I do understand about the profession and the whatnot is like you don't really mess around too much backstage. You wait for your opportunities. You don't kind of just throw yourself into the mix, sort of a deal. So,
Mhm.
in a lot of cases, I'm just kind of standing back and watching, waiting for my opportunity to kind of pounce, I guess you could say, to
Yeah.
kind of say my piece and what have you. And I asked him the same question, and I said, like, you guys are DTA, but how can you trust each other considering what your group is about? And you know what? His response was very simple, and it made a lot of sense. He said that initially it was created to not trust anyone else,
Mm.
but he can understand how that can be
People see
misconstrued
that,
and
yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, but I tell you what, man. Overall, just a fantastic night of wrestling. First night. A lot of these guys I'd never seen before. I got to see Cheetah Boy wrestle for the first time. I got to see, the Billington Bulldogs,
How
who
are they?
are they're fantastic, man. They are the nephews of the Dynamite Kid, legit nephews of the Dynamite Kid. So that was really exciting to see. I also got to meet the Dynamite Doll.
Nice. How was
The
that?
dog, that was awesome. And hopefully we can get her on the show. She was really interested. She was on the Dark Side of the Ring documentary as well.
Oh, is she cool? I didn't
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. No, absolutely. You should watch it. It's kind of unfortunate, but I get it. I understand what they're trying to do. I mean, I think I'd like to do a show called The Light Side of Wrestling. It's just I get it. Everyone has a negative past, and I get that people kind of strive for it to kind of forget their own problems and shit.
Hmm.
But there's just so much good that Dynamite did and whatnot. And to be fair, in hindsight, I don't think the WWE fans ever they got to see him, but they didn't get to see Dynamite the way Dynamite was. Near the end of his run, and unfortunately, that was the highlight, the primary portion of his career in WWE. He was, pretty much wheelchair bound at that point. Like he basically would go to Gorilla in a wheelchair, then walk out. I mean, that's why they dropped the belts to the Hart Foundation when they did, is because he couldn't go anymore.
Yeah. Well, they
He
told him to
just couldn't
stop
go.
wrestling. He wouldn't listen, and then he couldn't walk after that. And all the steroids and drugs. But
Well, I mean,
that's
you know
sad.
what? It is sad, but it's unfortunate. But you know what? I got to meet his daughter and I got to meet his nephews, and they were just phenomenal. Like I said, everybody I met, Chancellor, was just absolutely phenomenal. The Canadian badass, he was cool. He came out on his motorcycle and
That's
everything.
cool.
So, you had all these guys there. I can't go through every single match here because it would just take too long. But I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
this much. Every match delivered. Every match was cool. The flow was beautiful. The guys performed for a lot of these guys as well. This was a dream come true. This is a bucket list item for a lot of these wrestlers that were there. I mean, keep in mind where we were. We were at the Rose Pavilion. That's the home of Stampede
Yeah.
Wrestling.
That's
That
special right there.
and that basically ran there for God knows how many years, 30 plus years that show ran, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of guys that were there, including myself, and I mean a lot of local people as well, grew up watching Stampede Wrestling.
Yeah.
I tell the story that before I even knew what WWE was or WCW or NWA or any other promotion was, I only knew Stampede Wrestling for about 2 years before I discovered WWE. So up until that point, that's all I ever knew.
Yeah.
Um, but hey, you know what? Here's another highlight. I got to meet Bad News Allen's daughter,
Oh, cool.
Frances. Yeah, she's phenomenal. So basically on night two, they had the induction ceremony for Bad News Allen, the Cuban Assassins, Gama Singh as well, Bruce Hart, and there was a couple more. I'll try to remember as I go on here. I'm trying to make any notes on this. But ultimately, getting to meet his daughter was phenomenal. I shared the story and I'll probably share it again with her. Hopefully we can get her on the show as well. He's really keen on coming on. So I'm
Is
kind of
she in the
hoping.
business at all, or just his daughter? Does she do any work, or?
No, she's just his daughter.
Okay.
They were there to kind of accept the award unfortunately he passed away in 2007 from a heart attack. So,
Tough boy too. He was a tough guy, man. Big
oh,
guy.
he was phenomenal. And I tell the story that it was him, Bruce Hart, and Bret Hart were the catalyst for making me a wrestling fan. I was 8 years old. I'd come home from soccer. I turned on the TV and it was on the channel already. So I didn't, need to flip through anything. And all I saw was Ed Whalen. At that time, I didn't know who he was. And this man in a leopard print kind of shirt. That's what I remember. And that man was Bad News Allen.
Yeah.
And he was cutting a promo, and I can't remember who came in and attacked him, but I'm thinking it was the Karachi Vice, Gama Singh, Muckin Singh. and that crew, they all came into the ring and just started beating on him. And remember, this is the last segment of the show that we were watching here, right? So you had you had these guys attacking him and whatnot. Then all of a sudden, Bruce, Heath Hart, I think it was, and Bret Hart, all three of those Hart brothers came out, and they must have had some kind of gory match before because they were all bandaged up, and you could see the blood through the band-aids
Yeah.
and whatnot. And they came and they saved this man. And I remember Ed Whaling saying, "Hey, listen, to find out what's going to happen here, you got to tune in next week, same place, same time." The Ed Whaling
Hmm.
stick that he did, and I said, "Holy shit, this comes on every week." And that's where it all started. So I shared that story with her, and she told me that her dad would have been really happy to have heard that story and whatnot. So 2 3 podcasts are going to come out of this for sure. Hopefully one with Francis, and one with the Dynamite Doll and the Billington Bulldogs as well. We're hoping to
Cool.
kind of get that going. I'm going to say that out loud now because I'm going to really really push for that. Now, one of the other highlights of the night was meeting Bruce Hart. I was outside in between, just waiting, just getting some air. And I saw Bruce walking up to the pavilion, just walking up. And I walked up to him and I said, "Mr. Hart, it's a pleasure to meet you." And I gave him one of our cards, the Samp&Chance cards. And he said, "Oh, okay, this is awesome. Would you like to do an interview?" I said, "Absolutely. Are you
That's
kidding
cool.
me?" Yeah. So this was day 2. So I have an interview with the legendary Bruce Hart, which I will also be posting. I
Cool.
His insights were phenomenal. I really liked it. It was only about 5 6 minutes, but I tell you what, man, he was so giving. One
Sometimes
of
less is more, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of the nicest guys in the business, hands down. Just with his time, his energy. I also have recorded his induction speech, which I'll be adding to this special podcast that I'm going to put together for audio and for YouTube as well. Um, Ran into Mr. Beefy Goodness as well.
Cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Got a quick hit with him as well, talking about Uncontrolled Chaos and how well it's doing. And the book is phenomenal. I don't know if you started reading it yet,
I
brother,
haven't
but
even got my copy yet. I'm still waiting.
well, it should be
Be
coming
here
soon, man.
soon.
I am halfway through this book.
It's good.
It's phenomenal. It's There's things I cannot wait to ask him about.
Yeah.
There's in every section for every province or territory that he covers, he lists a top 25 guys from each territory. So when
Cool.
I'm looking at some of these territories, I'm thinking, okay, some of these guys should be ranked higher than this guy or that guy. I want to understand how he got to all that.
That's what makes the podcast fun when you get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, that was really cool as well. But meeting the Cuban assassins, interviewing them as well, that was really good. Spending some time with Bruce Hart was phenomenal. Got to witness Vinny Fever's final match, his
Oh, you had a
retirement
match?
match.
Cool.
He did. He had a cage match.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, man.
He's
Color and
going out with a
all.
bang.
Oh man, for over 300 pounds, that man can still move. I tell you what.
Oh, I bet.
It was a fun night. It was just, yeah, it was just good, man. I don't know how else to put it in words. It was,
How was the crowd?
the crowd was great. You know what? I tell you what, maybe, and I guess this was probably the only criticism I have. I wish it was a bit more full. I wish there were more people there. I don't know, I don't know what, was the reasoning behind it or whatnot. Maybe whatever the case may be, whoever was there was really,
They
really,
enjoyed it.
they enjoyed it. They were treated to an amazing 2 nights of professional wrestling. All the right people won,
How was Scotty's match with DTA? Was it good?
you know what? Scotty had 2 matches. He was basically fighting for the Rose Sports um junior heavyweight title. He was in that
Oh,
tournament.
cool.
So he won his first match against Bobby Sharp. He handled him, he took care of the business, and beautiful Scotty Mac fashion. He looked great. His physique was on point. The man was just looked good. He looked good in the ring. That was the first time I'd seen him fight since
Yeah,
I
and he's an
saw
older guy
him.
now too, and you're right, his body looks great for any
Yeah, he
age.
looked great. And you know what? I mean, here's the one thing I'll say about Scotty Mac. I don't know anyone on the independent scene who sells as well as he does.
Yeah, he's a master at that.
He's a master at the selling, and I got to see it firsthand. I mean, the last time I saw him fight was in Kelowna when we went up there to see Mick Foley, and he was a part of that card. Remember?
That was 2015.
Yeah, that was 2015. He was fighting Danny Duggan there. And here's what I'll say about Scotty. His detail to detail is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like even when he
Agreed.
was out there with DTA in their tag team match, he was out there supporting them and whatnot. Just his interaction with the crowd, his facial expressions, everything that he does. I'm not saying I'm not marking up for Scotty. Don't get me wrong.
No, you're telling the truth. He's great at
But
what he does.
he's really good at what he does. And a lot of these guys are. A lot of these talents are.
Yep.
Mentolo, another phenomenal, athlete. Leo Cristiani, the wrestler from Spain that we had on the show as well. I got to, watch him work. Big Lucha, the wrestlers that they had in there from Mexico. Just phenomenal athletes, man. These guys could be anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they have the talent and the ability to kind of move up in the rankings and move up into different promotions and stuff. And I'm sure a lot of these guys will. There's a lot of passion here. That's the one thing I'll say. There was no shortage of passion from the performers, to the organizers, to the people in the crowd, to the people who were just there. The passion, you could cut it with a knife. I'll say that. It was just great. I got to meet some other podcasters, two jobbers podcasters. Mason, he was a phenomenal guy as well. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I got to meet people from Norbert Manor. These are people that are following us and listen to our show. Here's something really cool, Chance, and this is why I wish you were there with me. People came up to me who I don't even know and were like, "Hey, I love the show."
Oh wow.
And that made me feel really good because that just lets me know, and I want you to know that we're doing the right thing here, bro.
The hard work's paying off slowly but
Right? It's
surely.
slowly but surely. Hard work will pay off. And I want everyone to know that. Like, don't give up on what you want to believe in and what your dreams are, man.
Absolutely.
I didn't know what to expect going here. I didn't know, would I just know Otto? Would I just know Scotty? But everybody there was just phenomenal. Danny Savage, what a champion. That dude
Yeah.
is amazing. I talked to him for a good 15, 20 minutes, and we're gonna connect with him pretty soon and talk about some things that he wants to get off his chest in regards to Can-Am wrestling and things like that. So hopefully we can get him on the show here as well. Um,
Out of both nights, which one stood out more? I know they were both great, but if you had to pick a night, Friday or Saturday?
I would have to say Friday because of the Hall of Fame and
Okay.
because that's when all the champions were crowned. Friday, and I would say Saturday for me because I was a bit more away, like I was a bit more in tune with what was going on. And, I felt more comfortable, allowing myself to go here, to go there, to cross this line, to cross that line, sort of a deal. They really, I'll say this, man, everyone there, from the organizers to the performers that I met. And, before I finish that thought, a big shout out to the Profits, an up and coming tag team in the Can-Am system. These guys were awesome.
They call the province?
The Profits.
The Profits. I think it's the province.
Yeah,
Okay, the
no, the
Profits.
Profits. I tell you what, man, I stood backstage with these guys for close to 45 minutes, just fantasy booking, right? Because night two, like basically night one was just all your championship,
Yeah.
preliminary matches and whatnot. Where night two started off with a battle royal.
Okay.
Well, first night two started off with the Hall of Fame ceremony. Then he went into the battle royal. After the battle royal, you kind of had a couple more matches, and then you started getting into a couple of the championship matches. Then there was the intermission where they had to set up the cage. That took a little longer. Once the cage was set up, Vinny Fever came out there with Vince Austin, and those guys just ripped it up. It was a tag team match, so it
Okay.
was really good. Four-man tag, like a tornado tag team match. Sorry,
Okay.
all free for all. And then they had another quick intermission. So I'll say this: night two did run a little bit longer. I think the show finally it started at 7 with the Hall of Fame, with the setting up and takedown of the cage and whatnot, with all the matches. It went till about midnight.
Oh wow.
We had 5 hours of show there, right? Um, but yeah, no, just getting to meet everyone. And like I said, just I was made to feel a part of the team and a part of their family, and
That's
that's
cool.
phenomenal. So that being said, I make it my pledge to that community that I want to promote as much of their product as possible. I want to get on their talent and try to get these guys going and get their names out there. It's like I said, especially the Profits. We sat there and we fantasy booked for 45 minutes.
That's cool.
We were trying to figure out, we were fantasy booking Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. And then I started picking their brains about tag team wrestling as a tag team and whatnot. And yes, you're up and coming, but you know what? Your knowledge of it and what you expect from tag teams and what your take on it was, their takes on it was just great. I loved it. And those guys are amazing. So I love to get those guys on at some point just to pick their brains again, do some more fantasy booking. I think that's a segment that we should add to our show as well.
Why not?
Samp&Chance fantasy booking. Let's just pick a storyline and see how we can see how it's going to play out and see if we're right or wrong.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that next one for sure.
Definitely, definitely. But you know what? That's my show in a nutshell. My experience of the shows in a nutshell. I could go on and just talk about all the other things, but again, just a big shout out to that whole team, that whole crew, all the fans, and everyone
Yeah,
that
Otto and company are very welcoming, very friendly, very considerate. Good
oh,
guys
very
all
concerned,
around.
just beautiful individuals, man. Otto's partner Larry. I mean, I tell you what, he greeted me and he took to he treated me like he's known me for so long, and that's what they all did. They treated me like I was always there. That's
That's
what I
cool.
felt,
I believe it.
and
Yeah.
and that's a beautiful feeling. And the only thing I'll say is when I got off the plane and I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt,
Cold out there, man.
dude, that was the first time I shivered in over 6 months.
We're not used to that weather. For them, it's no big deal. But for us, we're BC boys. We used to a little bit warmer climate.
But it warmed up the next day. But apparently, it's just these Chinook winds that they have. I don't understand the science behind it, but it's something about the north and the south winds or something happening. All I know
Okay.
is I got off the plane, and if you watch the Game of Thrones, it's like being on the north side of the wall,
It's
right? I'm
cold,
like,
eh?
holy fuck, it was cold. I was like just shivering. I was like, I don't remember being cold.
Wow. Yeah, I believe that. That's Alberta for you. We're
No, it
lucky where
was
we
good.
live.
No, we're very lucky, and Alberta's a cool place. I'll say that Calgary's a nice place and whatnot. I didn't really get to see too much out of it. I will say this: a big shout out to my buddy Cern, his wife Sarah, and their son King Bling, and their daughter. Um, forgot her name, bro. Hope they don't kill me for that one. Selena. Thank you, Selena. I got to spend some time with these guys. These are guys that I met in Mexico when we were
Yeah.
down there in
Yeah, I've seen
August.
that. That's
So
cool.
yeah, so we went down and had we went down, they showed me a little bit of Chinatown and the river I guess they have, like their seawall.
Okay, cool.
It was really good and the weather was really nice and they took the time out to kind of spend some time with me on my downtime, which was phenomenal. So big shout
That's
out to
cool.
those guys for the time that they gave me. So, beautiful, beautiful stuff coming out of here.
Sounds like a fun
So,
weekend all in all, man.
dude, all in all, I got some great interviews. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also got to meet Gama Singh's son, Manraj Singh, who also was on the card, and he actually fights for Impact Wrestling.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's a part of their promotion. So, this is another name to kind of look out for as we move along our journey here. And I got a
Cool.
quick hit with him as well. So what I'm going to do, Chance, is I'm going to take all these interviews and they should give us about 45 minutes to an hour worth of interviews. I'm just going to piece them all together and do a little intro for each one of them. And then I'll
Yeah, it's a good idea.
hopefully get that up and running and going for us the next few days, if not by the weekend. That's my goal. Um, Chance, that was it, man. That was the show. Um, but yeah, listen, Monday Night Raw last night. Did you watch?
I did. Yeah. Well, I watched today. I was watching the football game, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
watched it. What did you think of it?
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I thought Raw was really good. I liked everything that was kind of going on. I'm still kind of going off the high at that point from the trip and everything as well. But this is what stood out for me. Owens.
Yeah, that's all I've been seeing all day with Owens, right? I have the complete opposite take of that. When yes, he's good on the mic, but when I see a guy, I hate to say this and be so blunt, but when I see a guy that looks like that, I'm not trying to put him down, but he's wearing a shirt to cover up his body, and he's talking tough and acting tough. He doesn't look tough. I just find it. I just don't believe it. Doesn't seem believable to me. And that's the
So
part I have. His words are great. His emotion was great, but he's sitting there talking about body guys, and he looks like that. Like I didn't like it.
so I guess
And I know 90% of the Raw fans, they loved it, right? But I'm just not Owen's guy. His look, everything about him. I didn't never like the guy. It's what I think of him, I guess.
okay, well, no, that's fair enough, man. But I think he answered your question there. Yeah, and I think the one point he did make there, he's like, you're a dime a dozen. You body guys. You know what I mean? So it
Well,
is a great.
what is he then?
Well, he's not.
99 out of 100, looking like that. I mean,
No, it's just more guys like him have more passion and drive. I guess he's trying to point out. But I mean, ultimately, it's just a promo, obviously.
no, I get it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but the way he delivered it,
Oh, he
just the
delivered it
words
great.
and in whatnot. I mean, if you're trying to motivate someone and trying to put someone over, I think he did a great job of it there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he, being able to show his personality and just speak the way he did was just awesome. It was really refreshing to see.
No, it was good. It was one of the best segments of Raw. My thing with him is he's talking about his passion and these Roman Reigns and Theory of Dime a Dozen looking like that. But
Yeah.
what work are you putting in, Kevin? You're obviously not going into the gym. So is he just wrestling in the ring, training inside the ring? Because he's obviously not working on his body. So I don't understand what he means that they don't have the passion he has. They're busting their ass in the gym. So I don't get quite what he means by that. I know it's all a work. It's all sports entertainment, but I just never find him believable. I don't know. When he's acting tough like that.
Yeah,
That's my
well,
2 cents on it.
no, and that's fine, and that's the beauty of the Samp&Chance pod, man. We can say whatever we want to say, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all
Don't get
good
me
here.
wrong. He the
No, I'm not getting
passion. He
you
had the
wrong at
crowd in the
all.
palm of his hands.
Yeah, and I think that's the highlight of it. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else personally. For me, anyways, I just saw it from that perspective. Like, okay, what's he bringing here? Like, what's he selling at? And it's kind of cool because everything he kind of said kind of directly correlates to what Austin Theory is trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
With the smugness and whatnot. So I mean, it fit in perfectly. So I guess it's safe to say that Kevin Owens is the face right now.
yeah, he is now for sure. So what, I could have a feud with Kevin Owens in Theory? It looks like, I
Yeah.
guess.
No. Well, I guess we'll just kind of keep going there with that kind of feud for a little bit. I don't know. I mean,
And that'll be a good feud because you got the body guy, the young, good looking guy, and you got the sloppy looking dude. Looks like you see a guy in your local bar, eating
yeah.
nachos, drinking a beer. So I
Well,
mean, it's going to be a
I
good
think
feud.
it's going to be a fun program.
Mm-hmm. I
I
agree.
think one thing that Austin, I'm not saying he's green, but he's green.
Yeah, he is a bit. Yeah.
He still has a lot to learn. So, I mean, having the opportunity to work with guys like Kevin, to work, and he did a lot of work with Johnny Gargano down in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But the opportunity, just kind of like Dominic, I guess, and Dominic, I mean, I I felt his promo on Monday Night Raw was really kind of forced.
Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, he doesn't really
You
feel like
know,
it's him. You know what I mean?
yeah, he has to grow into it. Like his facial expressions are cool. And I can see this kind of going more and more towards being like Eddie's son and whatnot, just kind of
Some of the
uh,
things he said we predicted in our last podcast, you were never there.
exactly.
Yeah, you didn't care. Like,
Exactly. So, I think he's trying. The highlight of his promo, though, and I think she's doing amazing work right now, just with her facial expressions, is Rhea Ripley.
yeah, she's whispering in his ear and stuff like that.
Right, just the way she's there, just kind of that shadow. Like, I mean, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. New Raw Tag Team Champions, Ladies Edition, Dakota Kai and Io Sky finally took the titles. I think they did it the other way around, just kind of shock everybody and
Mm-hmm.
make it interesting. But the right girls have the titles now.
Yeah, it's a nice change. I agree. Kind of
You
switch it
know,
up.
no, definitely. And so everything's kind of lining up here for Backlash. We'll get into that a little bit more as we get closer to it.
Did you get to check out SmackDown? I didn't think SmackDown was very good at all. Did you check it out? It
You
wasn't
know
very
what?
good.
I watched SmackDown at about 1 o'clock or about 12:30 at night in Calgary. I watched it back really quick, and I thought it was an okay show.
It looks like to me that they're, before they switched over, Triple H events, it looked like they were trying to make Raw and SmackDown almost equal. Now it looks like they're really pushing Raw for the A show and SmackDown to be the B show,
Well,
which I don't have a
possibly.
problem with. But that last show on Friday was not very good.
Well, I mean, not every show is going to be great.
No, I know, but it was just like all these new guys, and I don't know. It's okay. It wasn't. I just think it was kind of boring. Even Reigns
Fair.
like, Dad, this SmackDown's one of the worst I've seen. Yeah, well, not every, like you said, not every show is going to be out of the park.
Yeah, yeah,
But
not every show. I mean, I thought it was okay, but then again, I don't think I was watching it. I was watching it just to watch it at that point, just to see what was going to happen, right? I
yeah,
wasn't really digging deep in it. I was kind of half tired. I'll be honest. Here's the one thing I will say that I did experience from my experience in Calgary. Um, I was light on my feet. I had full energy and I was feeling great. But the minute I stopped hustling and stopped, you know, working the brand and then watching the show, as soon as I walked out of that stadium, I just felt so tired.
but back.
Right. And then I had I had to figure out how to find a cab because, okay, so the Rose Pavilion is literally about 30 seconds away from the Saddle Dome.
Oh wow, okay.
It's right there, and I don't really care for the Saddle Dome because I really don't care for the Flames.
No, I'm with
Um,
you on that.
well, okay, so here's why. Because they cost my Cabs the Stanley Cup in '89. That's the
Yeah,
only
with
reason.
Larry Robinson. Or no,
With
Lanny McDonald, sorry.
Lanny McDonald, Huck and Lube,
Mike Vernon,
Mike Vernon,
Theo Fleury,
Theo Fleury. So from
McKinnis.
that McKinnis, so from that perspective, that's why I don't care for the Flames. But to see the Saddle Dome, it was right there, right? And so they're building another structure right beside it, the
Okay.
BMO Center. It's like a big convention center. So there's really no access in and out. You got to basically walk. So the first night that I walked out, I'm like, where the hell am I? So I kept walking and walking and walking. And then I finally found a main road and got a cab and went home. Now, here's the sad part of this whole night. I was so hungry, you know. I just had some chips and stuff at the arena and whatnot. And then I was so hungry. I said, you know what? There's a McDonald's right by my hotel. So
Yep.
I got the cabbie to drop me off at the hotel at the McDonald's, and he drove away. I went to the door to open it because it said 24 hours, right? Well, the lobby closes at 11.
Oh crap.
So you know what I ended up doing?
Walk through?
No, dude, I ordered through Uber Eats and sat there and waited for the guy to show up to grab my food.
That's hilarious. They won't let you in.
No. So, but I guess rules are
Well,
rules.
at
What
least you
can you
got to
do?
eat at least.
No, eventually I did. So the second night I ended up going back to the same McDonald's because I was hungry again, and this time I got the cavity drive through with me. So
Nice.
that
Now
worked
you
out
know.
well. Yeah. But hey, let's just quickly hit on some stories from the week. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. So the Young Bucks, and apparently, well, I know for sure the Young Bucks they were talking about. I don't know about Kenny Omega, but after all that stuff that went down with CM Punk. Apparently, they sent out feelers to the WWE to see if they had any space. Now, I don't know if this is true. I mean, the Young Bucks deny sending out feelers to the WWE.
Well, they're not going to admit it, but yeah, it sounds true to me.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about with Tony Khan when he's sitting there letting Punk trash the company and trash the presidents and stuff. Look at how that man dresses. You're the owner of the company. You're the CEO. You're dressing like you're a man child. Where's the suit? Where's at least a golf shirt? You look like you're playing Call of Duty in your mom's basement, dude. The wise guys don't respect them as an authoritative figure because it just doesn't look the part. If you show that picture of anybody and say this guy owns a company, they're like, what? Vince at least and Triple H at least dressed the part, but this guy needs to dress the part a
I'll
little
say
bit.
I'll say this. Tony Khan. I don't know Tony Khan. I don't know
Yeah,
anything. I didn't know anything about him until AEW.
I don't think anybody did.
Right. So, how much money of his own has he earned, and how much money is he, using of his, using daddy's money?
Well, I think everything he's got is that just like Shane McMahon and Stephanie. Without their dads opening the doors, they'd be just like us, regular Joes, right? So,
Yeah.
but the guy doesn't he looks like he commands any respect. There's no way Vince McMahon or even Triple H would let a talent trash their promotion at a press conference like that. They cut the mic or do something, dude.
No, no, and
Bad look.
yeah, no, it's a bad look, and I think he's trying too hard. I mean, he's
He is.
I don't know what to say about Tony Khan. I'll say that, like, like I don't have nothing against him, but I
No, I
just
don't got
don't.
nothing against it. I'm just calling it as I see it. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
and
come
so am
on.
I. And like I said, I mean, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. But if I have to base it on everything that I've seen of him, I don't think too much of him. I just think
No, me
he's
either.
he's just fantasy booking and using real wrestlers.
Yeah.
and spending daddy's money. That's the way I see it.
Why doesn't he bring
And
in some management guys? Like, come on, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they can't be your presidents and your managers. They're the talent. Get somebody in there with some that's an authority figure and put the hammer down and keep some of these guys in line. This is
well, dude,
crazy.
look how they run the fucking Jaguars. I mean, what do you expect,
Yeah, I know, but like, holy crap.
right? I
So now
mean,
they're
shit,
saying
shit.
CM Punk's going to retire because he has an injury. So we'll see what happens.
Well, he had surgery or something, or he's going to have surgery. He's going to be out for 8 months and whatnot. And now he's
CM
saying that,
Punk's been an absolute flop and an absolute disappointment at AEW ratings wise. He's had the belt twice. He's been champ for 5 days on 2 title reigns.
yeah,
What a
no,
waste of money.
100%.
I would just fire the guy. Just
No, but here's the
get rid of him.
problem. Here's the problem I think AEW has right now, and according to Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer, I shared this basically that the fear right now is if anyone gets fired based on the fact how Punk is and whatnot, I think the fear is that people will start suing if they get fired. So you almost like Tony's hands are tied. Oh, I can't fire anyone because if I do, I'm going to get sued.
Like an unsafe working environment, something like that. See people saying CM Punk might sue already.
Well, I mean, think about it, man. I mean, one of the guys got hit with a chair in the eye, like you were talking about. That could be, a
Mm-hmm.
career-ending, you know.
The
be-
boy, I think that they have some of the talent have too much control over there, and you can kind of see it coming through now. He doesn't really have any. I don't know. Seems like he doesn't have any control.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, 100%.
We'll see what happens.
Well, let's see what happens here, man. So, a couple feuds coming out of Monday Night Raw, some new feuds starting. I think you still have Seth versus
Riddle.
Riddle kind of going on, but now they've kind of attached Bobby Lashley to Seth, which I thought was kind of cool.
I like that.
And that should be kind of an interesting program. And a side program, the Judgment Day, getting involved with Riddle.
Yeah, seen that. I wonder what they're gonna do with all that.
Well, I mean, there's so many things they can do, I guess. I mean,
Maybe have a triple threat match. Oh,
no,
sorry, a 6-man tag.
I think they could probably throw something like that together, a 6-man tag, but who would be like, well, Edge looks pretty beat up. They did a number on his leg, so I don't know how
Yeah,
long
he's
he's
moving
out
slow.
for.
And I think another time to almost get him a retirement match. So like his character's still good, but he's moving slow in there. He's having a hard time punching. If you
Well,
watch his
he's
movements, I don't know.
yeah, well, he's talking about retirement. I mean, the talk's out there now. It's no longer
Give him a big
whispers.
match at Mania. Let him have a send off. He's almost
I think
50.
so. Yeah, I think he's pretty much near the end. I mean, he was able to come back and do what he was able to do, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, he did some great
Um,
matches.
so that should be kind of cool as well. But you know what, man? I tell you what, I mean, this is a great time to be a wrestling fan, bro. It truly is.
So lots going on.
Yeah, lots going on here. We got NEW coming up this Friday. All Star Wrestling is coming
It's
back
back.
this October, at the Maritime Theater. We're going to have more details on that show and more details on what's going to be going down there. I
Yeah.
have been talking to some of the people from All Star Wrestling, and there's some cool stuff coming up here, man. So I can't share it yet until we have all the details and whatnot.
Yeah.
But all in all, you know what? From Calgary to Raw to the future, I'm excited. I truly, truly am, man. It's a good time. And like I said, the highlight for me probably is you asked me earlier, the matches were great. I don't think one match in particular stood out per se, because I was just kind of watching everyone for the first time and kind of getting a grasp of it all.
Yep.
But being in the Stampede ground,
That's cool.
that was phenomenal. Being in that arena where so many great memories were made, so many great things happened, so many guys used that as a springboard to get to the Fed at that time,
Yep.
WCW, the history, the smell, all of it. It was just wow, really, really cool. And I guess you could say it was a bucket list thing for me. Oh, I completely forgot. Now you probably don't know who he is, but for me, this was the referee of my generation. If you go back and watch some old Stampede Wrestling, if you can find it on YouTube or whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
Mr. Jurgen Herman.
Yeah, and I never heard of him.
Okay, Jurgen Herman was the referee.
Was he
He
there?
he was there too. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame as
Was he
well.
70, 80 now?
Oh, brother, man, he was phenomenal. I mean, he's an older gentleman and whatnot, but getting the opportunity to meet him and to have a picture with him as well. I'll post that up here pretty soon. Just was phenomenal. I got to share a few moments with him. I got to share my respect and admiration, and I think it was his daughter that was with him. I'm hoping. I think it was. I don't know, but I mean, everybody was just really touched, and I was just like, super sweet. Another
Well,
shout out to Curtis. He is with the Cuban Assassins. He takes care of them. Another phenomenal individual. I will be talking to him more, and there are some cool things that we talked about as well. So all in all, brother, I'll say this: it was inspirational, it was motivational, and I was truly humbled and honored to be in the presence of all these amazing individuals this weekend. I can't wait for next year. I would love to go out there again and do it again. And I hope this time you can make it out with me as
I'll
well,
be make
man.
sure of it. Yeah.
Because some of the people were asking, "Where's Chance?" I said, "Chance is Chance, man. He's that guy. He does what he does." So
I'll be there next
yeah,
year for sure, though.
no, 100%, brother. It was really good. But on that note, you got a top five? You got anything you want to throw
I
at me?
do got a top five for you. I
What do
want
you
to hear your
got?
top five favorite moments of Stampede Wrestling.
Well, my top five favorite moments of Stampede Wrestling would have to be very simply put, seeing Bad News Allen that first day. That's what hooked me as a wrestling fan. Um, Watching the Karachi Vice any given weekend as well. That's, something, was always fun because those guys were true heels. And I asked Manraj Singh, the son of the great Gama. Um, So I'm gonna shoot on this one here, okay? So it's kind of interesting because Gama Singh is actually from India,
Yeah,
okay? They're Punjabis, like I am.
yeah,
So I asked him, I said, dude, I don't get it. When I was interviewing him, I asked him really simply, and like, what's the deal? Why did you guys bill? Why did your dad bill himself from Karachi, Pakistan, considering you're from India?
what do you say?
At that time, before woke culture, cancel culture, and you can't say that culture was ever around. One of the biggest selling points that they said to them was like, listen, if you create this faction, you'll get heat on you and it'll allow the fans to call you a packy,
Oh, I see.
right? So he said, okay, fine, I'll do it, but I want this, 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 and this,
Hilarious.
right? So that's why he set up. That's why the family's done really well for themselves is because, even though he knew at the time that that's what it was, so right? Like,
Yeah,
the crowd would shout, Packy, Packy. Like, I mean, you can't even say that. I'm saying it, but
yeah.
you're
I know
not
it's
allowed to,
totally different back in the
you know?
'80s.
So that's why they build themselves from Karachi,
Gotcha. Makes sense.
right? Like, you look at the Cuban assassins, Frank, he's from the Caribbean,
That's hilarious.
okay? Angel, the original Cuban assassin, is from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but because of the time, the whole Cuban Missile Crisis and
Yeah,
all that stuff that was going on, and he kind of looked like Fidel Castro as well back in the day.
he did.
It was almost fitting. So, and a great interview with those guys. Like I said, we talked about some of the riots. Did you know that he was trained by Antonio Inoki?
No, I never didn't know that.
Absolutely, man. So stay tuned for all those kind of details and all
That's
the good
cool.
stuff that's coming up here. But on that note, man, listen. So I've only given you two, right?
Yeah,
All right, the British Bulldogs, Bret Hart, and Ed Whalen.
sums it up perfectly. Can't argue those.
I can't argue, and I mean it's kind of vague because you know, there's no particular match. It was just being able to watch Stampede every week,
Yeah,
right? That's where the highlights. At that time, I don't know if anything outside of that first segment I ever saw. Um, the rest of it were just matches and it just great show after great show as far as I'm concerned. So being able to watch all those guys in their prime, you know, was just absolutely phenomenal.
yeah.
And that
Oh,
and that
absolutely.
and that's what I got, bro. That's basically it.
It's a good one.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to putting together these segments and
Yeah, I'm
editing
looking
them
forward to
all up.
listening to that. It'll be
And
good.
no, definitely. Hopefully by this weekend I can get it all sorted out. just juggling the new routine. This kids are back to school, so trying to figure all that out and whatnot. So we're trying to piece it all together here. But hey, guys, listen, like and subscribe. I know I forgot to mention it. I was so excited to get into the meat of it all. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. The more you guys support us, the more we can do. The more trips that we can start making and being a part of these shows.
Yeah,
Um, all in all, awesome, man. You will be in Edmonton next Monday, right?
that's right. Monday Night Raw, yeah, with my son. I
Oh,
think
no, two
present I
Mondays from
got him.
now. 2 Mondays from now.
Yeah, it's on the 26th.
So they're going to be here on the 24th. Are you going to that one too?
No, because we're leaving Saturday morning because I bought the tickets
Ah,
way before they announced the show for the plane
all
and
right.
everything. So,
All right. So we will go there. I would think I'll probably take Little Miss for the show.
still have fun. It's a
And
house show, but it'll still be fun.
no, it'll be fun. It's their first experience, right? And then
Yeah.
we'll kind of go from there. And next time they come to Seattle, if she enjoys it, we'll probably just go down to Seattle and watch them. They were there in Seattle this week, man.
Yeah, SmackDown was there.
Yeah, yeah. And then Raw was in Portland, right?
It's a good question. I'm not sure on that actually.
Yeah, it was
Think
at the
so.
Moda Center. Yeah, it was in Portland.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they're kind of doing their West Coast run here. Yeah, because next week they're in Sacramento, SmackDown is.
Okay. And then Vancouver and then
And then work their
Edmonton.
way down the coast. Yeah, sort of a
Yeah.
deal. So
Cool.
the
Yeah,
Raw
that should be
crew,
fun.
yeah, the Raw crew will be in Vancouver on Saturday, and then you will be there Monday. So I'm expecting a live report, brother, man.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna see what I can do. I got Reigns with me, so maybe he'll be able to meet one of the wrestlers or something for us.
No, 100%. That'd be really cool. Looking forward to hearing about those details of the trip and whatnot.
Yeah, it should be fun.
So, brother man, as we close out wrestling, let's just give a little preview of what's coming this weekend. Triple G versus Canelo. Um, Fight week has started. They had their
Biggest
first
fight
face
of the year.
off.
It'll be our biggest boxing show of the year. So I hope it's a good one. It should be a fun
Yeah,
show.
it's going to be good. So we'll hit on that. We'll talk about Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. That potentially could be
Credit to
happening.
Anthony Joshua. He's lost his last, what, 4 out of 5 fights or whatever it's been, or 3 out of 5, and he's fighting Fury. So he got a lot of guts.
Well, I don't know if that's confirmed yet or whatnot, but I'm going to look at back and
It's
find out.
confirmed. It's
It's
December
done, eh?
2nd.
December 2nd?
And your boy Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, October 29th, confirmed, getting a press conference and everything.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that as well. So I didn't know the other one was confirmed. Thank you for letting me know, man.
I
All
think
right.
I won't get too much box, but I think Usyk's making excuses. He's not injured. He just wants to rest. He doesn't want to get in the ring with Fury right away.
Well, I think he's going to need time to prepare for Fury,
Oh yeah, I don't blame the guy.
right?
I'm telling you, Fury's
he's
going to take
gonna,
Joshua down, take Usyk down, then probably ride off in the sunset.
the way this whole heavyweight picture is kind of played out, it almost, I almost feel that Joshua could win and just fuck everything up again,
He's always in the way, that guy. I know what you're saying. Like, you know what I mean?
right?
Fury's taking all the risk here. Joshua has nothing to lose. He's expected to lose. He's getting a payday. Fury's taking all the risk.
Yeah, but hey,
Fury's got nothing to gain from fighting him.
no, okay, we don't want to get too deep into it right now, but we'll talk about this as we progress here. All right, my man. I'm Bobby Sampson.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe and share the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of the immortal one, Mr. Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Everyone have a great night. We'll be back at you soon. Samp&Chance out.